What's going on, Arizona Sports Fan family? We're back at it again with another video here of the Arizona Sports Fan. Today, we're going to be talking about Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. Week 3 matchup. Let's get started. Alright everybody, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, today what I want to specifically talk about is Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams, Week 3 matchup. But before we get started, definitely do me one huge favor, smack that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We're pretty much throwing out content for the Arizona Cardinals daily, so subscribe and join the community. And another quick plug, in the description of this video, you will be finding a link for the NFC West Network. We will be discussing this game, fan versus fan. Make sure you go ahead and go over there and check that out. All right, everybody, let's dive right into this game. Now, when you look at this game in the perspective as an Arizona Cardinal fan, we are automatically going to be playing our divisional rivals for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I don't know if they feel the same way about us, because since Sean McVay has taken over this team in 2017, he has been absolutely just brutal against us. Like, I believe I saw the record as far as like him being 9-1 against the Arizona Cardinals, and that right there is absolutely nuts. And I think it would be foolish for me as an Arizona Cardinal fan to not take that into consideration. So since 2017, he is 9-1 against the Arizona Cardinals, and in terms of Cliff Kingsbury and him, 1-5 the Arizona Cardinals are against Sean McVay. So we've only won once, and they have beaten us 5 times. So that's absolutely super crazy. Right now, I'm a big advocate of every year it's a different team. Every year it just kind of really depends on how this all kind of shakes out for this Arizona Cardinal team. Now, the best time that we actually looked like a very good team against this Rams was when we did get our first win against them. And I do think that we're going to have to approach this game very similar, right? I think right now when we look at the Los Angeles Rams, yes, they're 1-1. We are also 1-1 as well, but they don't look like the team of last year, in my personal opinion. Now, granted, it's still the very beginning of the 2022 season, so they might have to work out some kinks that they have. And I think the biggest weakness right now is the run game. And maybe not the weakness, maybe I should rephrase that. Not the weakness, but a lot of questions in terms of who's their number one running back, right? Is it Darrell Henderson? Is it going to be Cam Akers? There's a lot of kind of back and forth. And there's also a lot of, is Matthew Stafford going to go ahead and play hero ball? The biggest storyline coming out of the offseason from Matthew Stafford is that he had a shoulder injury, right? And now a lot of people are actually saying like maybe he's not the same. Granted, he's still probably one of the best quarterbacks that they've had in the LA Rams in the most recent years. Continue to talk about Matthew Stafford, right? He is going to be that guy for the LA Rams. Now, when you look at his stats so far in this 2022 season, in terms of touchdown to interceptions, 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, right? Now, one thing that I do think that we got to kind of put him in a situation of is we got to make sure that that run game gets shut down just from the very beginning. I don't think he's throwing the ball very accurately. There's some fans out there that are panicking about his offensive line. So I do think that if we rattle the cage of Matthew Stafford, he's going to be making mistakes like this, right? He's going to be throwing the ball deep down the field. He's got the weapons. Cooper Kupp, he's got Allen Robinson, he's got weapons, he definitely does. So we'll have to kind of wait to see how it all shakes out. Now, the number one thing is that I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. This Arizona Cardinal defense is probably not going to hold them to 21 points. It's going to be more points that this offense is going to score on our defense. Now, the biggest thing that we have going for us right now is that we might have Trayvon Mullen back. So it's going to give us another opportunity to see maybe a cornerback that was going to be able to kind of not shut down these wide receivers, but at least contain them to a ability where maybe we might be able to outscore them. This game is going to be an absolute shootout. Like, if this game turns out the way that I would want it to, the Arizona Cardinals has pieces in order for us to compete with the LA Rams. The biggest thing that's been a roadblock of the Arizona Cardinals is Cliff Kingsbury, in my personal opinion, right? I think one of the biggest things is that we're making game plans, but we're really not looking in terms of who is going to be the person we're playing that specific week. Now, we can blame, Cliff, we can blame Vance Joseph for the debacle of week 1, but it's all about learning, right? Learning who our opponent is and actually making a game plan, pertaining to their weaknesses. And I do think that the Arizona Cardinals has a very good offense. We got to get Zach Ertz involved. Like, that's number one, and that's key. Being the safety blanket for Kyler Murray is Zach Ertz always going to be there with those quick, hook routes, maybe just a quick drag route, something along those lines. Zach Ertz can be that guy. The moment we get him involved and get those, those 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, something where we're not kind of constantly playing second and long, third and long, I think sky's the limit for our offense, right? Getting our run game going. I do believe James Conner will be a go, but we're going to find a little bit more, later into the to the week, maybe by Friday or Saturday, we'll know for sure if James Conner is going to be a go. But if we get a running game going, if we get Zach Ertz going, then everything opens up for this Arizona Cardinal offense. Kyler Murray is still a dual threat quarterback. He can run out of the pocket. He can, get those yards with his legs. He can chuck the ball deep to Marquise Hollywood-Brown. We can get Greg Dortch available. So the sky's the limit for this Arizona Cardinal offense, is that we just need to make sure that we're on the field in appropriate amount of time to get our offense to gel. One thing that I've seen so far about this Arizona Cardinal team is that if we don't have the time to gel, nothing works for this Arizona Cardinal team, and it really sucks. Now, let's look on the defensive side of the ball for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not expecting them to completely shut down Matthew Stafford. Now, would I love for that to happen? Absolutely. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. I still do think that we have some pieces on this defense that are really good, but I also do think that we have some pieces on this team that need more reps. They need more practice. They need to get more comfortable in the system, and at least those lifetime reps, because I think in the grand scheme of things, that's the big thing that we're missing. We probably should have played a little bit in preseason. I think we match up very well against this LA roster. I really do. I think this is going to be a shootout of a game. Now, one thing that does go against us as well is that we're playing at home. And for some darn reason, we don't play good at home. I don't get it, and I don't understand why Cliff Kingsbury, our head coach, has still not figured this out yet, but this is going to be the time to figure it out. We're going to have Rams fans in here. I don't think it's going to be very many, but there's going to be Rams fans coming into this game, and I expect none other than this Red Sea to absolutely go wild in this game. But the Arizona Cardinals need to do something on the field in order for this fan base to, erupt and get them on their side. Last thing we want is to have another game like the wild card game, right, against the Rams. Last thing we want to do is have another game like week 1 against the Chiefs. We don't want that anymore. We're sick of it. We're tired of getting completely obliterated by a contending team, and we're saying, oh, no problem, because they're a contending team, we expected this. No, the days of that should be over. This team needs to go ahead and go into a deep playoff run, or at least win a playoff game, because we're going into the 4th year of Cliff Kingsbury, as well as Kyler Murray, and in the days of excuses should be over. Yes, we don't have DeAndre Hopkins, but we had plenty enough time to scheme something out to win against Sean McVay. Continue to talk about this game. I do think it's going to be a pretty close game for the Arizona Cardinals. The one thing that we got to get going in our favor is that we got to make sure that JJ Watt gets, going. We got to make sure that everybody on that defensive line is penetrating up the middle. Matthew Stafford doesn't run out of the pocket, but if he has to, he will, but he's not that quarterback that's like a mobile type quarterback that's going to be getting you those crazy amount of yards with his legs, right? Like I said, if he has to, he will, but that's kind of be one of those things where we need to contain him in the pocket, provide pressure up the middle, and just rattle his cage. We've seen so far in the season that he can be inaccurate. We've seen so far that he has thrown multiple interceptions pertaining to his touchdown ratio. So I do think that they can be stopped. We just need to make sure that we're playing sound football, and by that I mean football with no penalties. We need to make sure that on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball, we're just cleaning up a lot of those stupid, ugly mistakes that are putting us back 5 yards or giving them 5 yards. We got to make sure that all that stuff is cleaned up. JJ Watt needs to step up. Budda Baker needs to step up. And maybe Isaiah Simmons, right? He might not have the green dot coming around because I think he works better without having the green dot, but everybody on this defense needs to be speaking the same language. The communication needs to be pat and locked. So what I want to see in this game is I want to see the same Arizona Cardinals team that we ended up seeing with 5 minutes left in that Raiders game. That's what I want to see. That is going to be the type of football that I would love for this Arizona Cardinals to thrive on, because the moment that happens, watch out, NFL. The moment that we start getting everybody gelling with each other, the offense doing it for the defense doing it for the offense, the special teams doing it for each other, I think nothing can stop this Arizona Cardinal team. We got the talent. We got the roster. We just need to put it out on the field and get it complete. Now, in this game, I'm going to be optimistic here. I do believe that the Arizona Cardinals are going to pull off the win here. I'm going to say 31-28 Arizona Cardinals with the win. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cards.